And joining me now with a reaction to my opening statement and the renewed gun control debate in the wake of this devastating massacre, NRA National Spokesperson Dana Loesch. All right, good evening, Dana. You know, what do you say to people who say that gun control is going to keep Americans safe?
Well, that's an utter lie. And, Judge, thank you so much for having me. And your opening statement, by the way, was 1,000% correct. And I think that what you said in those remarks reflect accurately what law-abiding gun owners across the country think. For those who think that further gun control is going to keep us safe, I challenge them to tell me how they plan to elicit cooperation from criminals, how they plan to get criminals to cooperate with the laws that already exist. You know, Judge, universal background checks failed in California. Further gun control failed in California multiple times. San Bernardino, the Isla Vista, Santa Barbara murderer as well. In fact, wherever gun control is implemented, that's where we see further loss of life. Whenever it is gun-free, that's where you see further loss of life. If anyone can come up with the idea, Judge, to say how they can get criminals to cooperate, I'm all for it. I'm all for hearing them. Let them make their case.
Well, you know what's interesting is, you know, we banned semi-automatic weapons for 10 years. And, you know, even the Clinton Justice Department came out and said it had no impact on the number of crimes or the number of murders that occurred. I mean, how many studies does there have to be? What is the ultimate goal of these people when they say we got to have gun control, we got to stop the NRA? You know, as if the NRA, the GOP, I mean, we are enemies. People want to kill other innocent Americans. What is it all about?
That's a great question. And as for Hillary Clinton and her remarks, I'll remind Hillary Clinton that many of her voters are members of the NRA. And there were NRA members that were also in attendance at that concert in Las Vegas. In fact, there are many Democrats who are members of the NRA. And Hillary Clinton would do well to watch her words on this. Otherwise, she's going to cause her party to lose more voters to President Trump coming up in the next elections. But as far as what their ultimate goal is, you know, I have that question as well, because you noted so eloquently, Judge, when you were discussing Chicago, they don't seem to be concerned there. In fact, during the previous administration, Judge, they weren't concerned when felony prosecutions, prosecutions for felony gun crimes just dropped drastically. In fact, Chicago is at the bottom of the list. When you look at the cities with the highest crimes, they're at the bottom of the list for prosecutions of felony gun crimes. So where is their concern? It's inconsistent. Fast and Furious, you noted that as well. They didn't seem to mind that so much.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, they're not prosecuting these cases. The Obama Justice Department did not prosecute these cases to the extent that the rest of the country was prosecuting. I mean, this is not difficult stuff. I did it when I was DA. You get an undercover, you get involved in the gangs, you find out who's doing what, confidential informants, and you prosecute to the full extent of the law. They don't even do that in Chicago. Right. When I called Cook County a couple years ago, they wouldn't even give us the numbers. But let's talk about Hollywood. You know, no one wants to go to Hollywood and the gratuitous violence in the movies and the fact that they're selling this in so many ways. And yet the first thing they want to do is they want to legislate legal possession of guns and ban guns on us. But let me be more specific. This bump stock, okay, it makes a rifle less accurate. We all agree on that. What impact will that have on crimes in America?
Well, none. This is the only crime that we're aware of in which bump stocks were. And we're not even sure. I want to caution, we're not even sure whether or not bump stocks were used in this particular crime, other than that there were 12 present in the hotel room. But as far as bump stocks, look, I know that this is something that Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox have urged the ATF to be more consistent. You know, the ATF wasn't consistent where it concerned Fast and Furious. That was exploited by gun control advocates to actually call for more gun control, more gun regulation. Congress needs to listen to what American voters want. And when American voters went to the polls in November, Judge, you remember, they voted in favor. They wanted national reciprocity. They wanted the Hearing Protection Act. Congress, members of Congress need to actually listen to voters on that. The ATF needs to do their jobs. And I'll caution Americans, who has ever followed Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Chris Murphy and ever come out on the winning side of anything? Those individuals should not be in charge of determining rights.
Well, not only that, but if you do follow them, Dana, I guarantee you there's someone with them who has a gun. You know, so it's their guns that and the people carrying them that are important to them. But But we'll see what Congress does with this, Dana. And the Republicans, who seem to be somewhat open to this bump stock banning, as though that would have made a difference. Quickly, would it have made a difference? You say we don't even know if it was used, right?
We don't even know what was used, and I wish that lawmakers, when they talk about studying homicides used with illegally possessed firearms, they would look at the number of lives saved, because it greatly outweighs lives lost.
All right, Dana Loesch, great to have you on tonight.